So you want an IT job, but you've noticed employers want Office 365 experience, which is fine. They want 6 years, they want 3 years, or they just want you to be an expert. Why is that? It doesn't matter. We're just going to have to learn it. Let's get to it, guys.
All right, guys, so real quick introduction. My name is Irvin, also known as Kobuman. If you follow my videos, you know who I am. The way I make videos are in the way so that you can actually work your job, meaning that you can do your job as soon as you get hired. And that's exactly what these people are looking for. They want you to sit down at the computer, look at this Microsoft admin panel, and know how to use it. So what does that entail? That means dealing with users, user accounts, probably email accounts and Exchange, and probably dealing with some data recovery here and there. There are a lot of other things I'm going to show you as well, but these videos, I'm going to concentrate on those things that are going to be useful to you that you need to know when you sit down in front of this program, right? And it's interesting to note that the actual reason why businesses switched to using Office 365, now it's called Microsoft 365, is because they're used to using Microsoft products, and that's fine. Before, you would install Office on your computer, and every computer would have Office installed, and that would be pretty much it. They might pay some money for support, but that's about it, you know. This way, they are switching over to the cloud-based services, which is actually working pretty well, so that way they can charge the licenses per monthly basis for each user. So this is what's happening. Microsoft is trying to make more money, and which is fine. The system is actually pretty good, and this is why businesses are switching over to it. And you'll find out why it's actually really, really cool, although it's, you know, Windows, or I should say browser-based, cloud-based, if you will, right? So anyways, let's get into it. So again, this is the first thing you would see. This is Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So when you sit down on a computer, the employer wants you to be able to work few main things. The first thing is users. You got to be able to go into users, make changes. Once you click on active users, the active users are going to show up. And one thing to keep in mind that this version of Admin Center, I have been granted access from Microsoft for educational purposes. So this is for teaching students, and I'm grateful for them actually giving me this type of access. Other things we're going to talk about, the groups, we're going to talk about groups, but deleted groups here is something that is really cool actually, because you can recover data even if you delete groups. And then shared mailboxes, we're going to talk about that. However, when you click show all here, you can see there is a whole lot of different stuff. And the main things we're going to talk about, so it's useful to you as somebody who gets hired and expected to know Office 365, is Azure, Exchange, SharePoint, and Teams. That's in addition of users, right? And that's all, you know, all tied in together, obviously, and we're going to kind of go into it systematically. We're going to explain it. I'm going to explain it to you in such a way where it's easy to understand. That being said, I plan to have at least 2 videos, but you guys, you gotta let me know if you want me to keep making these. If you want me to make a 3rd video, 4th, or 5th, you gotta let me know that you're interested in this type of stuff, because I have to make time for this type of stuff, which is fine. I love making these videos, but you gotta let me know so that way my interest stays there as well. You know what I mean? So I can have the mindset of keep making these. All right, guys. So here we go. We're going to talk about users first because it's the very first thing that we see here. When we click on active users, we can see that all the users that are installed there. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to click add user. All right. So first person we're going to create is Sally, and we're going to give her a last name of Mo. Why not? Then if we hit tab, it's going to automatically populate our display name, which is just a wonderful. All right, guys. So we're going to create a user, which is going to be added into Active Directory. But guys, this is not Active Directory that you might be thinking of if you're thinking of Microsoft servers, like server, I don't know, 2016, right? It's not the same as a domain Active Directory. Now, admittedly, once you create Admin Center, once you create and sign up for Microsoft 365 for your business, you create a domain, or a domain is created to you, so you can add it to your business name or the business website. So if I have cosmicnova.com, I could have created it under cosmicnova.com. But in this case, I just chose it to create a domain on Microsoft itself. So you can see here it says domains right here, and it says cosmicnovo.onmicrosoft.com because I didn't want to associate cosmicnova.com with this account at all because it's for educational purposes. That being said, this is not the same Active Directory that is in your business environment. When you go to work for somebody and you log into your computer, and the login ID and password you use is going to be for Active Directory, domain controller, that's for your business, which most likely will be a server, Microsoft server. Microsoft 365, Office 365 has Active Directory as well, and its own separate domain that just functions separately. Yes, you can log into your computer using Microsoft account, and you could probably make it work somehow with Office 365, but I want you to understand that this Active Directory in Office 365 is separate and different from server Active Directory. Again, I'm not saying you can't make it work together, but this is just how it is. And at least at this point, when you work for somebody, when you go to work for somebody, you log in, you're going to use domain credentials from Active Directory that's separate from this one. Okay, I just want to make sure that this is clear. Moving on, we're going to name her or give her a Sally M as username. Matter of fact, we're going to keep it lowercase because it's easier to remember and easier to type. Automatically here where it's checked, automatically create a password. I'm going to leave that as it is. By default, this is what you get, and that's fine. It depends on the business if they have these requirements, but this is what you want. Require the user to change their password when they first sign in. That's normal. You don't want to know their password. This is a security thing. You want this checked. Send password and email upon completion. You can certainly do so, and then type in the name of whoever. It could be their boss that might want to know. I don't know. It just depends on the business. But for training purposes, because I want to know the real password and I want to show you guys how you can immediately log in once I create this. I'm going to show you this. I'm just going to do this here just for the sake so that I can get actual password at the end right away. Okay, so we can log in as Sally Mo. That's what I'm trying to say. So again, this is how we're going to do it, but this other stuff needs to be checked usually in a business. We're doing this for educational purposes. All right, location, United States. You can change this to whatever, that's fine. Assign a user a product license. So this is very important because Office 365 gives you different licenses depending who it is. If it's a manager, he may have to get a different license. If it's a tech guy, IT guy, one of us guys, then he may have to get a different license. Or if it's just a user, he may get a totally, very limited license, just to use the Office basically. So this is a educational version of Office Admin Center that Microsoft gave me. So the options I have is A1 for faculty and A1 for students. We're going to assume faculty is on manager level, right? So we're going to select that just for the sake of simplification, right? You can also create a user without a product license, but it's not recommended because they will not have any access. Now, if you're preparing to hire somebody who might get hired, but we're not sure, you can be proactive and create this, but it's really not a big deal. I wouldn't bother. Like I'm just saying is you can create a user without giving them any licenses and just to be proactive, but I wouldn't bother. Anyways, you just in general, you want to give them a license. So pick whatever is available and whatever is appropriate. If you don't know, ask. And we're going to expand down here and I'm going to show you what we selected here for faculty. If we click, this is all licenses, right? If you click it here and select for faculty, these are all things that are available, and I can remove or add access to all of these things right here. And that's fine. It's going to look different for a business that you get hired at, and that's fine. If you want to double check with them, that's fine. You can do that. So I'm just going to click next. I feel like that's explanatory. Here we go. Optional settings. You can choose what role you like to assign for the user and fill in additional profile information. So you can assign roles. And if it's just a regular person, you would just leave it at user, no admin center access. However, if you want to give specific access to certain things within admin center access, you can do so. So if you want to make them exchange administrator, global reader, help desk admin, service, you get what I'm saying. Any of these you can pick. Matter of fact, you can even expand even further down. If you want to assign a collab or collaboration permissions, you can certainly do so. Like if you want them to be groups admin, you can select them to be groups admin only. Exchange administrator, that's fine too for collaboration. Network admin, these will all have different type of roles and different type of permissions. There's so much more, guys, here. And then, you can certainly, like, here's an example. You just want to allow them to only change passwords. That's fine too. If it's a help desk guy, just select it so he can only change passwords. That's fine too. It's whatever the rules are, right? For this case, we're just going to leave it user no admin center access. They don't need to have access to any of this stuff. They, even if their manager, doesn't mean that we're going to allow them to do this unless it's later requested. Then we can go back in and change it, right? I mean, this is, here's a profile info. You can type in certain things to populate their, information, and you can certainly do so. Office, location, address, their phone number, I don't know, 555-5555, mobile phones, all of this stuff you can certainly fill in, but you can also fill it in later, and I'm pretty sure users themselves can change this information as well. Okay, so here's what we have. We have Sally Mo, and she's given an login ID, which is an email address in this case, right? It's a login ID, but it's also an email address. It's also your access to everything else that Office 365 allows, or provides, I should say. So if we're happy with all of this, I am. So I'm just going to click Finish Adding. So here we are. Now, this is what we have, and we're going to show you how to log in. And we're going to tell you that this is, I'm going to show you that this is instantaneous. Here's a login, and here's a password. This is what I wanted to see right away, so I can show you guys. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to go into our Office 365 login. We're going to sign in. By the way, this is somebody else. Sign in with another account. This is just me trying different account, making sure it works. So this is at login.microsoftonline.com, or you can go to office.com and you'll get to this. Notice how this is, just everybody goes to the same website to log in regardless of business. Very interesting. So we're going to log in. Here's our login, and we're going to go back and get her password. At this point, she will get a pop-up to change the password, but since we just want to log in, this is what we're going to do. And this is going to take us to Office 365. This is the front end of what the users see. And, Sally, it says, good morning, Sally. Here's her Word on the left side. She can create a new document. Matter of fact, let's do that. Because we're going to test with this stuff. We're going to test one. Let's just do version 1, okay? It's going to automatically save. It's going to automatically save. It says here, right here, it's saved. You can rename the documents if you want, but for the functional purposes, this is what we're going to do here, okay? And now we're going to go back and select a different. We're going to select Outlook. And look, Outlook is going to work immediately. We're going to certainly test this as well. Here's her Outlook. And later on, guys, I'm going to show you how to add these users to have access to shared mailboxes. This is going to be very, very important. And for those reasons, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification down there, because I will definitely show you details. There's a lot to learn here, but we're just going to go from the beginning where it makes sense for everybody, right? And then we're going to do another one. We're going to go Excel just to show you. Here's our Excel. And then, I don't know, here's Teams. This is where you would collaborate, doing stuff with other team members and all that, which is great. And as soon as this loads here, we're going to do something else. This is basically a group chat that you start, right? This is what Teams is about. You can, have joint calls and all that stuff. It's Teams, We're gonna work as a team, you know. Yeah, you're gonna do the team. All right, let me create a quick Excel document just to have something to work with for Sally. Test 2, version 1. Guys, you see how I'm putting version 1, version 2 on here? Because there's a lot that we're going to talk about. I'm getting ready this for you guys. A SharePoint. This is where things are making, this is where things are going to change. You can go to your OneDrive and you will see all of your documents in there. See the ones that I created? This is like your backup. You know, like if you have Google Drive, OneDrive is the same thing, you know, with slightly different features, but kind of generally the same. All of your documents that create there will be backed up on your OneDrive. You'll have a copy of it, and I'm going to show you how to restore those in case user deletes them and they don't know how to recover them. You can actually recover it for them, and just like that. It's really cool. All right, let's do a one PowerPoint. I'm going to create a blank PowerPoint just to have. Test 3, version 1. Okay. And of course, you can share all of these documents with everyone. This is really cool, guys. I don't want to go off a track because I just wanted to show you how to basically log in as user, create a user, log in as user, and see that, show you access to different things. Okay. So now we got a few documents created. You can see that all of these things work. I'm not going to go through all of them. There's tons of stuff, guys. Look, there's tons of stuff. All these things should be working as long as you've given proper access, which is fine. All right. I'm going to minimize this. And here is back to our profile that we created. After this, we can create a template. And we're going to name it faculty/managers. Because we can use the same template for faculty or managers. It's all up to you if it allows you. If not, then just, just go to the next step or whatever. You don't have to create templates. Depends what your company wants you to do and allows you to do. And then we're going to say template for faculty and managers. Never skip on this type of stuff. It's not hard. Doesn't take a long time to add a description. It's definitely recommended. And then you can say make this template available for other admins who manage users. So if you're a guy that's been granted permission to really manage Microsoft Office 365, you'll be able to do stuff like this. So I'm going to save it as a template. And now next time I can just select a template instead of having to go through everything else and, assign all these licenses. So if another faculty member or manager starts working, I'm just going to use that template, right? And we can add another user, which we can certainly do so. Okay, I'm going to close it here. Just want to show you this is where they are at. They're going to show up. All the active users are going to show up in your main panel, which is great. And if I want to go back and let's say I've messed up something for Sally, I can just click on Sally and here she comes. Look at this. This is amazing, right? We can reset her password here, right here. We can just click reset password. If this person's been fired, we can block her right there. If we want to delete her, we certainly can. But keep in mind, if you delete her too, we can also recover data that's been deleted up to 30 days. So whatever she saved in here, all the documents that she saved in here, they're recoverable even after you delete the user for the next 30 days. They're available there. Okay. And then here's account details. We already did this right here. And there are certain things in here that we're definitely going to talk about. And then we can change things like manage user name and email. We can change it right here if we really want to. We can add an alias if we want to, meaning another version for the same person. And another example right here, it's right there. We can manage roles. We can change those things that I've showed you right here. It's all right here. It's really amazing, really easy to, really easy to change. So let's say we changed our mind. We don't want her to have any access, but we want her to have access to be, I don't know. Let's see here. Show what do we want manager or staff to have access to? Let's see, Teams administrator. Why not? We're gonna make her Teams administrator, so she can administer those group chats and all that stuff, right? That's fine. So It's right here. It's so cool, right? All right, so let's see here. If we click on devices, we can see which devices she has. So with Office 365, you can actually log in even just using your phone, which would be listed here, but you have to set them up for that, and then they can log in just using the phone, check their email, check whatever else, just like you would do like with the Google products. Licensing and apps, here we go. It's right here. It's just a third tab over. It's so simple. If we want to give her a different license, we certainly can. If we change our mind and give her a student one, that's fine too, or multiple ones. That's perfectly fine. And then we got mail tab here. These are mailbox permissions, and then we can assign mailboxes to them to either read or manage permissions. We can create a mailbox for them specifically, and this is where we can do. And we'll definitely get into this in the future videos for sure. Probably in my next video, because this one for introduction is getting really long, and I don't want to be too long. So these are all mail settings that we can change on behalf of the user. So let's say, I don't know, for example, let's say they forgot to change their automatic replies. We can go in here and change it for them. We can turn it on and say, sorry, I'm on vacation. Please contact Bob for any issues. And we're doing this on their behalf. So if they forgot to do this, then we can certainly do this for them. We can make this change, and then we can here send replies only to senders in a mailbox contacts list, or to all senders. So I'm just going to copy pasta for the outside. This is very typical for the inside, and then for the outside organization. So whoever within your business, and if, I don't know, some other company contacts you, you can say, this is just an example. So here, we did it for her. Now, if she doesn't know how to do it, we've done it for her. Or if she forgets to do it, and then suddenly her manager says, hey, the emails, we're not getting any contacts from the customers. Customers are not getting any, they need to get this done. Well, that's because Sally hasn't set this up, right? So we have to make sure that, this is set up for Sally, so that the customer can get a reply saying, hey, contact Bob for any issues, So we're going to turn it off here, because I'm going to show you later on in the next video. I'm going to show you how this works and different mailboxes that we're going to set up. Again, we're going to come back to this here. I just want to show you overview of our Sally here, and then OneDrive. We're going to click on OneDrive, and it's going to say whether she has access to it or not, how much she has storage. We can create a link to files. Basically, that lets us create a link that we go to, and when we go to that link, I can see what she has in her account. So if I copy a link address and then open here, and I'm going to open up a new tab, and we're going to copy paste her link, and here it is. I, as an administrator, have a direct link to it. I can see what she has inside, like right now. You know what I mean? So it's really, really cool. And then this can help us actually restore some of the stuff if it's available. The only problem is we can't see her recycle bin. We can't see her. Well, we can see. Well, I guess so. Well, this is how you could, recover her data too. But in case you can't see the recycle bin like this, I'll show you a different way. It just depends on the settings for the organization. That's fine. Okay. And then what else? We can change the storage, how much storage she has. Right now she has, up to 1 gigabyte, 1024 megabytes. So we can change that to, I don't know, that's 5 gigs. Well, let's leave it 5 gigs. Let's give her a lot of storage room, right? So she can store her pictures and videos and whatever she wants. So she has now 5 gigs of sharing, and then we can manage her external sharing, manage data retention. So this is what I talked about, how long we keep her data, after she's been deleted, and we can change this. And then storage, well, this is just the default storage setting. All right, guys, I hope this intro is very easy to follow, and this is just one of the things. We're going to create more users. We're going to work on our exchange in email, see what kind of things we can do. We're going to mess with these shared mailboxes, and I'll show you how to do that. Just as a preview, I'm going to go in here where it says exchange, and we're going to make some things that are really, really, really cool, exciting, and really easy to follow. So I'm just gonna, he wants me to set up a two-step. Yes, you want to do that, but for me, I'm just making this as an educational video, right? For educational purposes. Anyways, here's the Exchange Admin Center, and then a lot of things. We're going to look at Azure Active Directory as well. Matter of fact, can we do that? Let's do that real quick here as part of this because it does tie in with what we created. Once we go in here, we're going to see that user that's in there. All right, so we're going to click users here, and we can see all users here, including Sally and Mo. So this is what's supposed to be Active Directory part of it. And in here, we can also make the changes plus much more. It gives you more technical details, including statistics and everything else. But this is Sally that we just created inside of Active Directory. All right, we can see all audits, all sign-ins, all devices. This is something I personally would probably get used to using, but you don't necessarily have to. You can pretty much do everything in here, but if you are a techie guy like me, if you're a nerdy like me, you want to want to learn this stuff as well. And we're definitely going to touch on this and probably starting the next video, and then we're going to roll into Exchange and email part of it because I really want to talk about this more. And I don't want to make this video too long. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.